Hello students, having completed the introduction and reasons for establishment of SEBI in brief, now let us move on to the functions of SEBI. SEBI is empowered with so many functions. All the functions are categorized into three. The first one is regulatory functions, then development functions, and then the last is protective function. So let us understand the first function, which is regulatory function. It means here the SEBI has to play a role of a regulator, in which the SEBI tries to watch the functions of all its intermediaries and help them to establish well into the market by asking them to follow certain rules and regulations so that transparency and reliability as well as validity of the market is maintained. In regulatory functions, you can remember this in a certain way, like the first 3 points belong to registration and regulation. So 3 REGs. First REG is registration, second REG is also a registration, third REG is regulation. Then comes 1P, that is prohibition, and 2C, controlling, calling, and then LP or PL, you can change the sequence, or you can also make a formula if you wish to. So in regulatory function, SEBI tries to register all the intermediaries like brokers, sub-brokers, or mutual fund holders, or collective investment schemes like SIPs. All the registrations are done by SEBI. Regulation of stockbrokers, stocks, bankers, portfolio exchanges, and all the merchant bankers is also done by SEBI. So they all have to get the permission and license from SEBI before they start operating. Then comes prohibition of fraudulent and unfair trade practices. SEBI constantly keeps an eye of what transactions are taking place in an exchange. If it finds any transaction to be fishy or it senses something is wrong, then SEBI gives notice to that intermediary or the investor. Then controlling insider trading and takeover bids. Now insider trading, we already know that misusing the confidential information of the company which is not yet publicly out. So if the SEBI finds that somebody is doing this, or if SEBI gets information from some whistleblower that this kind of trading is happening, then it may call on to these categories of persons. And then takeover bids. Takeover bids means accumulating shares of a company so that you can claim ownership on that company. As we all know that equity shareholders are the owners. So if you start accumulating equity shares of a particular company, and if you get the majority of the shares out of issued capital, then it is known as a takeover bid indirectly. So SEBI is prohibiting such activities and also imposing penalties for such practices. Calling for information by undertaking inspection, conducting inquiries and audits. So continuously these broking houses and other intermediaries get the inspections by the officers of the SEBI, and also they have to submit the answers and audit reports on asked by such SEBI or any institute allied with SEBI. Levying the fee or other charges for carrying out the purposes of the act, like license fee or the registration fee, so that SEBI or the exchange or the board of SEBI will not face any difficulty in managing the affairs of SEBI in terms of financial regulations. The last regulatory function is perform or exercise any duties or powers as may be delegated by the Government of India from time to time. So if Government of India orders, requests or suggests something to SEBI, SEBI has to look into the matter and perform the functions accordingly. The second function is development function. So in the first function we saw that it tries to be a regulator of the market, a watchdog of the market. In the second, it also tries to grow the market. So it's not only about watching the transparency of the market, but also to see that the market grows continuously to be at par with the other world markets. So here the function is the educating investors about various ways of trading into the market, or just giving a general awareness or of what to do and what not to do while you are trading. Second is training intermediaries of the securities market, like brokers, mutual fund schemes or other collective saving scheme, or any other intermediaries of the market will have to attend the training sessions arranged by SEBI from time to time. promoting fair practices and issue code of conduct for all the participants, undertaking measures to develop the capital markets by adopting a flexible approach. So from time to time, SEBI keeps on doing SEBI keeps on reviewing various rules and regulations, and if it finds something is to be changed according to the new ways of trading or according to the new business environment, then it has to make certain changes. So it adopts a flexible approach and changes itself from time to time. It also conducts research and publish information that is useful to market participants. Certain bulletins and magazines are issued by SEBI so that all the market participants, all the stakeholders can be updated about the latest changes taking place in the financial market. The last function of SEBI is protective function. This is mainly done to save or secure an investor from all the trading malpractices that we studied in our previous video, like fraudulent and unfair trade practices जैसे कि प्राइस रिगिंग, मिसलीडिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन while issuing new securities, manipulation, insider trading, etc. And SEBI also on finding these malpractices may impose penalties, and also a person can be sent behind the bars if the law suggests so. Then undertaking steps to educate and protect the investors. If you visit SEBI's website, that is sebi.gov.in, you will see many initiatives, many campaigns run by SEBI to educate the common investor. Then the last one, promote the fair trade practices and code of conduct in the securities market so that no any new chance of any fraud or any malpractice to be there in the market's operation. So it's called promotion of fair practices, wherein everything is transparent and everything has a link into it, and every transaction or every other information that you get from SEBI or you give to SEBI has a reasoning backup, right? Nothing that happens in the market should have a loose thread. Everything should be linked, automatic, and with the permission of investor and SEBI. So this is all about SEBI. We studied the meaning of SEBI, its establishments, objectives and functions. The next topic that is given in our textbook is organizational structure and role of advisory committee towards SEBI. These two portions are again deleted from syllabus, so you can read them from text or from the reading material that I have provided, but do not pay so much attention to it because the chances are high that nothing would be asked from these topics. But for our safety side, we just go through it once and they are very easy. In the organizational structure, it says that how SEBI works by say dividing its tasks into certain divisions, and the role of advisory committee that keeps on giving suggestions to SEBI about any disclosure requirement or any market regulations or development points or any point that may ensure that the investor's interest is protected. So these committees suggestions are not binding to the SEBI, but it may follow it for the betterment of the market. So it's like a general piece of information that is given to it. So with this last topic of SEBI, we come an end to this chapter. If you have any doubts or question, you can always type in the comments box or WhatsApp me personally. This is for we completed like chapter 10 of second part of the business studies financial market. In the next video, I will be starting consumers protection. That is last chapter, but it is small and comparatively smaller, very very smaller than the 11th chapter marketing. So we will be starting that first, right? So till that, please take care of yourself. Thank you and have a nice day.